Good day everyone and welcome to On the Disc, a series of videos where I show you what is on the disc of a Blu-ray release that I have done an unboxing video of here on my channel. Today's release in question? Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. More specifically, this Amazon UK Collector's Edition set, exclusive I should say to Amazon UK, which is available now from Studio Canal. This release includes both Blu-ray and DVD discs, so I'm going to show you what to expect with both discs when you put them into your player. So without further ado, let's get straight onto it. To begin with, you can see we are here at the main menu, and what we're going to have here, and I will note as well, there is music playing in the background which I have muted for the purposes of this video. We have got a gallery slideshow of sorts, just taking you through a variety of imagery and just fading gradually through each one, and we'll cycle back through them accordingly as it goes along. In terms of the menu layout itself, you can see that we have got play feature, scenes, setup, and special feature. In terms of the setup menu, it defaults, in my case here, to English audio, and the other options available are Japanese audio with English subtitles, and then an audio commentary by Hideaki Anno and Kazuyoshi Katayama. More on that in a second, because there's also an additional element to this when we get to the special features, so I will show you that momentarily. But just to show you from the outset how the subtitles look, let's select Japanese audio with English subtitles and hit play feature, and I'll give you a quick glimpse as to what those subtitles look like. A quick note that I've skipped forward a scene here so I can show you more promptly what these subtitles look on screen. As you can see, got a bit of a yellow font with a black outline there. It's pretty easy to read for my eyes. I appreciate for some people that may be a little bit more difficult, but overall I think the subtitle font actually works quite well in the context of this film. And that's what the subtitles look like over 2 lines. So while I'm here, I'm going to use the opportunity to demonstrate what the pop-up menu functionality is. As you can see, got the main menu button there, so you can get taken straight back to the menu. We've also got the scene selection function, which I'll show you how that works momentarily when we go back to the main menu. You can choose the languages once again from the setup menu, just for the purposes of completion, quick glimpse of the scene selection, and you can access the special features from here as well. And then finally, if I just bring the menu back up, we then have a cross button to get rid of the menu accordingly. For the purposes of this, we're going to hit the main menu and go back there accordingly. Back on the main menu here, let's take a look at scene selection. I gave you a quick glimpse of it. Let me give you a bit of a rundown as to how this works, because it's simple, yet you kind of have to figure it out a little bit as well. It automatically highlights the first thumbnail you can see on the screen right now. You can scroll all the way over to the right, and you can literally go through every single thumbnail across 3 separate pages. You could also do exactly the same going the left-hand side if you feel so inclined, You've also got the option to skip straight to the second page and the third page. No matter what thumbnail you're on, just to demonstrate, I'll go to thumbnail 5. If you hit down, it'll take you to another menu here in the center here. If I click 9 to 16, it'll take you to page 2. It then will by default put you back on the first thumbnail of the page you've selected. Hit down, I can go back to 1 to 8, or if I want to go to 17 to 24, I can do that accordingly. Then no matter what page you're on, if you hit the down arrow key, it will then remove you entirely from that menu. As we now advance to the special features section, there's a decent amount here, so bear with me. First of all, you can see audio commentary by Hideaki Anno and Kazuyoshi Katayama. Now, just to double back for a second, that was also listed on the setup page. So you've got 2 ways to activate that audio commentary. I will note that if you activate it from the setup page, it will not start the film automatically. However, if you start it automatically, if you select it from the special features page, the film will start automatically and immediately. I'll give you a quick glimpse of that now. So as you can see, it utilizes the same font for this audio commentary as it did with the dialogue. Speaking of which, let me just fast forward to the scene I showed you a few moments ago. One curious detail here I do want to note is the film is playing in Japanese with some subtitles while the actual commentary is playing. So there are some lines of dialogue that Nausicaa and co will say that will appear on screen, while at the same time, the actual commentators, if you will, their own dialogue will be over the top. So whenever the commentators are not speaking, any dialogue that is present will then play in place of there being no commentary. So It's a little bit random to get used to at first. You sort of figure out, wait, what's going on? But you quickly get used to it. It's still a fascinating thing to actually watch, though. So I do encourage you to check out the audio commentary if you would like to do so. Storyboards. This is another very interesting element. So if I click this, it will now bring up a message. As you can see here, the storyboards for the entire movie are included in this feature. Use the picture-in-picture button on your remote to toggle the storyboards on and off. Now, admittedly, it's taken me a little bit to sort of figure out what the picture-in-picture button is. It may be noted as a feature or a function button, depending on the hardware you're using, so you might have to try a few settings to get it to work on yours, but I'm going to demonstrate what this will look like now, because you can switch it on and off, and you can watch it with whichever language option you have set up as well. Allow me to demonstrate. So here we are in the scene I've just been showing you, and I've left the audio commentary on, and you can see we've still got that playing, but you can see the storyboard as well as we go along. Now what I will do, just to demonstrate, you can simply deactivate the video and such. I have now turned off that video, and if I want to switch it back on, I can do so hitting the corresponding button and option as well. Pretty simple, but a very, very unique and intriguing way to be able to watch the film and experience it if you're someone that really is fascinated by the whole animation process. And with the audio commentary as well, it makes it quite a unique viewing experience, so definitely worth checking it out once again if it's something you are very interested in. An interview with Toshio Suzuki and Hideaki Anno, Nausicaa and Evangelion, the whereabouts of the giant warrior. This is a bit of a unique feature, and I'm going to click on it because you're going to probably be a little bit confused as to what on earth this is, but I will explain accordingly. You can see there is a timer on screen. What we have here is an audio interview that was broadcast as part of a radio program in Japan circa 2009. Now, this is the duration you see on screen. There is not dialogue missing. The subtitles will appear because there's sort of a bit of a lead-in, as it were, before some dialogue starts appearing. Interestingly as well, there are actually chapter points in this as well. So what I'll do shortly, after the first subtitle appears, there it is for you, I'm going to just sort of skip forward a little bit, and you can sort of see it's in sort of a few minute increments, if you will. About a 10-minute increment there. A very random line out of context. But this is a really, really unique special feature, and it is something genuinely worth checking out, again, if you have the time spare. If you want to really dig in deep into the backstory of Studio Ghibli and this film in general, the special features on here so far are really doing a fantastic job to showcase that, it must be said. Next up, we have The Birth of Studio Ghibli. This is about 27 minutes or so. It's a featurette comprising of interview clips from the film, and actually has dramatic recreations of elements that happened during the production process. I am not joking. This is genuinely quite fascinating, and it is a very enjoyable watch. If you've got some time spare, I do encourage you to check it out. I'll see if I could jump forward just to try and show you some things that occur here. So, and there are chapter points in this as well, which is actually a very nice thing. So if you want to jump to certain points, it does allow you to do that in a very, very fun and unique way. I'm going to just leap forward again in time. This is so fun the way they've done this. So here is an example now of the dramatic recreation element. It's quite random and unique, and they say at the very beginning of this, they try to showcase sort of the actual people in question, and they've really tried to match very fine details and whatnot. So it's quite a random moment in and of itself. But again, skipping forward, it's just really, really good fun and something unique that you wouldn't normally get. And this just demonstrates as well a really good archival process of something very unique like this. Next up, Behind the Microphone. This is nearly an 8-minute short that's showcasing various comments from those involved in the English language version of the film. You can see Mark Hamill on screen there, for example. So if you want to go behind the scenes from the English language version, it's a fun little watch actually, and for about 8 minutes or so, it's a nice little insight into what the actual cast were thinking while they were recording and their thoughts on the film as well. So again, worth checking out. Then we close out with some original theatrical trailers, of which there's about 8 minutes so worth of memory serves, and you get, for example, TV spots, a couple of theatrical trailers, and a promo film as well. We've also got Studio Ghibli collection trailers, which basically have English language trailers of Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle, Tales from Earthsea, Laputa Castle in the Sky, and Spirited Away. So if you want to get a nice little preview of other Studio Ghibli films, this does the job quite nicely. With that being said, this was the Blu-ray disc. I think it is time we now advance to the DVD disc to see what is on that and how certain things compare. So here we are on the DVD disc. As you can see, very different menu layout, very different, let's just call it like it is, quality, because it's not 1080p on a DVD, as it were. So already you can tell the quality is definitely different. When it comes to the setup menu, once again, we've got English and Japanese. Interesting slight differential though, because there is no audio commentary on the DVD disc, but there are English captions for hard of hearing. So first of all, let me show you Japanese with English subtitles so you can get an idea of the font and such. Activate that. And also, nice handy feature here, a play feature button at the bottom of the menu. Just to jump forward a scene again to have our trademark scene at this point. Here is an idea of what the font looks like for you. Okay, so with that in mind now, I'm going to go back to the menu and change it up for the other selection of subtitles. So now let's look at the English audio with captions for hard of hearing. So at this point now, the English audio is playing and there will be the captions appearing on screen to accompany that as well. You can see there, it demonstrates what the sound effects are. So a great way to enjoy this for so many more people as well. That's what I really like about this. Interesting that the captions aren't included on the Blu-ray disc. I think personally that's a bit of an oversight. I'm not sure if there's a particular reason for that, but at least it is included on the release, but it actually would have been far better to have had that included on both discs rather than just one. So we're actually here in the scene selection screen now, but just to show you how it looks when you get there, we go to select scenes from the main menu. Here is what we have. It sort of follows in similar vein to what we saw before. You can scroll to the right as it were, or keep hitting the right button key on your remote, and you can scroll through all of the scenes accordingly, through right to the end and then back to the beginning. If you want to hit left, you can do exactly the same thing, as demonstrated there. You can also jump forward to particular pages using the functions at the bottom of the screen. And from here, we will now go back to the main menu. In terms of extras on this disc, obviously there isn't going to be as many because the actual data size quantity of a DVD is far less than that of a Blu-ray. So we've got original trailers, which is the same trailers that we saw on the Blu-ray disc, the same options as well as it were to be able to skip through them. Alternative angle storyboards. This will be in very similar vein to what we saw on the Blu-ray disc. A slight difference, however, it specifically tells you to use the angle button to be able to switch the storyboards on and off. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to show what the storyboards look like on this DVD disc for a second, because you've had a glimpse of the film, and it's not going to be a picture-in-picture style presentation like we had on the Blu-ray. So it'll very much just be a full-screen presentation with the corresponding audio and subtitles. Let's have a quick glimpse of how this looks. As you can see, we're now in that second scene that I've been using as a case project here, as it were. You can see it's very much just the storyboards in question, and that is what you'll get from this. And if you hit the angle button, you can adjust accordingly between seeing the actual film footage and the storyboards. You've got the Birth of Studio Ghibli feature, which we saw a few moments ago. For the purposes of completion, just a quick glimpse of that on the DVD disc here. Now, I will say, this is displaying in 16:9 on my hardware. I do believe this was originally in 4:3, so do not be surprised if on your hardware this displays by default as 4:3 ratio rather than 16:9, just to throw that out there. Just to skip forward a little bit. So we go, here is this scene once again. The Studio Ghibli collection. This is a collection of trailers, once again like we saw on the Blu-ray disc. Minor difference in that there are actually 2 additional trailers that weren't on the Blu-ray disc. There is one for My Neighbor Totoro, and also one for The Cat Returns as well. And with that being said, everybody, I think that is going to wrap up this particular edition of On the Disc. I hope this video has been useful for you. Thank you very much for watching. If you feel so inclined, please check out the other unboxings and other On the Disc videos here on my channel. And if you've got any requests of particular things you would like me to try and do, please leave them in the comments below, and I will certainly see if that is possible. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Take care and have a nice day.